Hey, what's up, everybody? Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Let There Be Talk. Today is Monday, July 16th, and it is time for part 2 of the Henry Rollins interview. So glad you guys dug last week's interview. Like I said before, dream guest to have him on. And since I've had him on, I've just been diving back down the rabbit hole of Rollins. Everything, all things Rollins. Music, spoken word, his books, everything. And I want to tell you guys, he is getting ready to head out on tour. So make sure you go out and catch one of these spoken word shows. They're just absolutely next level. And I think you'll find it pretty damn inspiring and amazing at the same time to see a man do a couple hours of storytelling that'll blow your mind. His show, I do believe that he's getting ready to go out and do, is the photo show. I'm pretty sure. Anyway, I'm glad you guys all loved it. One of the biggest episodes of all time, and it wouldn't matter if it did two listens or 2 million. To me, it was just an honor to have this man on. And I'm never going to forget it, like I said last week. So thank you again, Mr. Henry Rollins, for doing the show. Before we do get to the episode, just get some quick shout-outs to some amazing Patreon friends out there. If you do want to donate to the podcast, it is patreon.com/Dean Del Rey. And every bit helps. This episode I'm dedicating to the king of Patreon himself, Justin Connolly. Yes, Justin Connolly, you are the man. This episode is for you. Also, some other amazing Patreon friends. Brad Garris. How are you, Brad Garris? Thank you so much, man, for helping out the podcast. Everybody out there, I love you guys on Patreon. I'm trying to put some more exclusive content up on the Patreon app, and I'll get to that. It's just I'm just like bogged down from like 900 things. Okay, you got to do Instagram, then you got to do Twitter, then you got to do Facebook, then you got to do the Patreon act, then you got to do what was that Periscope. Is that still around? Periscope? So funny how these apps work. It's like Instagram. They're like, oh, what's somebody else doing? Periscope? All right, we'll just take that and we'll do that too. I said it before. There seems to be no copyrights or anything on these apps. It's like, that'd be like, you go, eBay, it's great. We're going to do the same thing. It's called D-Bay. Yeah, D-Bay. It's my eBay. It's Dean's eBay, D-Bay. It's the same thing, but a little cheaper. And I don't know how they get away with that with the apps. But anyway, it's tough to keep up with all the apps. It's so crazy. There was one I remember a few months ago. What was it called? Here it is. Vero. Remember that one? Vero. Everybody's like, dude, you on Vero? You got to be on Vero, man. Oh, it's like, well, what is it? Oh, it's Vero. You got to do it. And then nobody did it. It was like hyped for like a week. You signed up. It was all clunky. There was all kinds of different pages. Nobody knew what the fuck it was. I asked everybody, hey, what's Vero? I got it. Do you know what it is? Nah, I got it though. Are you using it? I don't. It's so hilarious. I love the old school apps. YouTube. That's the fucking app. YouTube is just God. It's just like, okay, there's a flight delayed. YouTube. You just go on it, and then the delay just disappears. Anyway, App City. I do appreciate everybody that follows me. My favorite is Instagram. I love photos. I always have loved photos. I love rock and roll photos. I love motorcycle photos, car photos. There's some funny shit on Instagram, man. There was this one I posted up on my Twitter, I believe, but I hadn't laughed hard in a while. And once in a while when I laugh hard, I it's like a massive release when you have a crazy laugh. I wish I could have a bit as funny as this video. It was the one. There's like a shelter, kind of a animal shelter guy, and he's got a cat, and he's like, "This cat's beautiful. This is Polly the cat," or whatever his name is, and he's petting it. "Come adopt him today. He is so friendly." As soon as he says friendly, the fucking cat's on a leash, and he's holding the leash. It just starts going crazy trying to get away, and he's like, "Whoa, hey, ease up, cat. Hey, easy, killer. Hey." And the cat's going crazy, and then the cat just turns around and just grabs his fucking balls and inner thigh and just starts clawing it. He's like, "Ah!" Oh my God, dude. Oh, I'm fucking laughing so hard at like 1 a.m. in some hotel room. I couldn't stop laughing. I watched it like 20 times. I was like, what the? I mean, this cat just turned into Satan. It was just like, it went into like rip his balls mode. Oh, man. Anyway, there's some funny shit out there on Instagram, man. You could just, I mean, I've been in a motorcycle crash, and it's not funny, but if you live and you can watch them later, man, some of those motorcycle crashes, these people just doing dumb shit on their bike. It's insane. Anyway, man, just shooting the shit. I love all you guys. I got some shows coming up. I'll be in Montreal on July 27th and 28th doing shows up there for the Kevin Hart LOL showcase. That's for the Just for Laughs Montreal Festival. Pretty proud to be part of that, man. Here I am 8.5 years in, and I'm finally getting to go to JFL, and I can't tell you how great that feels, man. That's coming up July 27, 28. And then Kansas City. I'm coming with Joey Diaz to the Kansas City Improv August 9, 10, and 11. That is going to be fire. Boston, I'm coming with Joey Diaz to the Wilbur. That's going to be insane. That is September 28th. A couple tickets left there for that. Going to get into the part 2 right now. I love all you guys. Keep the candles lit and keep your head up, man. Keep the smile on the face. Keep the feet moving. Keep the grooving. Here he is, Mr. Henry Rollins. You put Weight out. It's incredible, huge record.
Yeah,
you know?
Did great.
And then you win a Grammy that year for the spoken word record.
Get nominated for 2, won 1.
Won 1. Yeah. You're on top, and then it's just fucking screwed right after it.
Yeah, and so my 10 years in the major label world was interesting, but it was not a big money maker as far as record company royalties. Money comes in now.
Yeah.
Where
money are your records? I mean, I have them on vinyl, but like I went to iTunes and the End of Silence and Wait are on there.
Yeah,
but nothing else.
No, because I own the rest of it.
Oh, and then do you?
I just don't like the
streaming.
I don't like how the pay is meted out. I'd rather have downloads, and because I don't care about the money for me. I have bandmates.
Yeah.
And we split the publishing, and we would split things. And so I want to be able to send. Oh, actually, today was payday. We paid out royalties today. The alarm on the computer goes off, and every 6 months, because I have writers and musicians that I pay royalties to, and even if that check's for 11 cents, bad year.
Yeah.
At the track, we're still going to cut that check because you don't rip people off. You don't treat people the way you got treated.
Yeah.
And so
so they're in the buying platform of iTunes, just not in the streaming.
Yeah, we just decided that's just not the horse we want to get on. And so I've always made my money, a grotesque conversation to be had, but I made my money on the road, where I make it after I've worked, I get paid. I don't like advances. Every now and then I get an advance. For safety's sake, you get one for a movie. So if the movie goes south, hey, At least I got this because you just blew out the last quarter of my year, and now I have to scramble for work. That's an advance I don't say no to because it's strategic.
That's different, yeah.
And that's different. That's like
That's non-recoupable.
So you don't screw me, and we love each other dearly, but I can't. When your movie folds, it just happened to me twice. I need to be able to pay the bills for the time I now don't have work because I stupidly put my trust in you. And your film folded or your thing, whatever. And so those are advances I'll take. However, I don't like advances. I'd rather get paid. I'd rather do the work and say, hi, you owe me.
Yeah.
Not like I owe you for work I haven't done yet. Every agent will say, oh, no, we're taking the advance. Like
of course.
For tours I don't like to think about it, but half the money just gets, before I leave, it's with the agent. I don't like that. But that's how that game is played. And even the guy who owns the venue, like Henry, don't worry about it. It's how we always do it. Of course, we make the money, but that's just how it's done. Just don't think about it. If I had my way, we'd be getting paid after the show in full, where you can walk in and say, hey, so let's see the money.
Absolutely.
Or don't pay me, but I get 2 of your fingers.
Yeah.
Fair. And I get to take them off. That I would enjoy.
I get 2 of your fingers.
Or an ear.
Yeah.
But I'm taking it off with my teeth. You don't have to pay, but I get to mangle you. I get to permanently maim you. I would take Sharia.
Yeah. Yeah.
In lieu of pay.
That's amazing.
If I can get an eye, you can have the money.
Let's talk about the End of Silence record.
Sure.
I think is probably one of my favorite records ever. And of course that tour, I saw it a bunch.
Thanks.
And that lineup, I mean, I think what you really accomplished in my eyes is a jazz metal record.
Yep.
And it's that group and that record and everything about it is absolute magic. How did you guys write that? Was it a quick writing? Did you go in a studio? Do you write actually on instruments, or are you just melodies and lyrics, all that stuff?
Yeah, I don't play any instruments.
Right.
I've carried them and I've bought them, but I haven't played them. And so that record, I'm not proud. I don't do pride, but that's a record I actually agree with. In that someone goes, I like that record, and I'll go, thank you. But in my mind, I'll say, me too.
Yeah.
Because we did it right. And here's what I mean. We wrote the songs in the bass player's basement that smelled of the kerosene heater in Hopewell, near where they found the Lindbergh kid.
Wow.
In fact, they searched the well on Andrew's property back in the day for the Lindbergh baby.
Wow.
His house is a historical landmark.
Whoa.
Anyway, so in the snow, we would drive from the drummer's mother's house. We're all sleeping on the floor. That's how kick-ass we are. So me and the guitar player would get up from the floor, roll up our sleeping bags, get in the drummer's Celica, can't believe it still ran, out to the bass player's house, turn on the kerosene heater, and write songs where some days you could see your breath. And we would write songs, and then we would go out and play them. And we took the entire End of Silence set out for the entirety of 91. Wow. And we played them every day on stage at Lollapalooza, to where by the time we got them into the studio, there's no how do you want to play this? Are you kidding? These songs are now tired of us. We have played them every possible way. And we know them. We have they have been caned into shape.
Yeah.
Their shins are ready for MMA. And so we did it right. Those songs were like a year and a half of taking a hickory cane and beating them till they screamed. And by the time we took them into the studio, we recorded them 2 takes, because what? Achoo, there's your song. Because they were in our DNA and bone marrow. And so we just kind of, are you rolling? Watch. Bam. And got in and out quick because we didn't have to, what do we do for this song? Watch. We'll show you what's up. And that's what happens when you're ready. And the songs have been taken out and shook until all the useless bolts fall out. And that's how I like to do every record. Take the songs out and road test them. That's what Black Flag did. We just take these songs out. And I learned all this from Greg Greg Ginn and Chuck Dukowski. The Rollins band was modeled on Black Flag as far as work ethic. Like, how long we practiced before tour? 6 weeks. What?
6 weeks.
Who does that?
Really?
Well, it's better than 3 months. That was Black Flag.
Wow.
What are we doing this spring? Practicing? When's the first show? August? Huh?
Yeah.
Like, why? So there's no warm-up shows. There's no warm-up shows. Show 1, we kill.
Wow.
And like band Black Flag practice was like 2 sets a night. You'd walk out of there crying for your mom.
Yeah.
It hurt so much. And Rollins band practice like Say Goodbye to Your Loved One, French Foreign Legion with a snare drum. And I told them when we started the band, I said, fellas, I want you to think about this. Get a passport because we're going to be international. We're playing everywhere. Brazil, like Tokyo, just Japan. We are going. And it's going to be Right Record Tour. And we're not going to stop. So are you ready? Because like, half of that band had already been out with Black Flag, the rhythm section.
Right.
So I said, you know how we do? And they went, yeah. I said, well, that's it, but more and harder.
Wow.
And they went, okay. And I said, here, now we're doing it, Black Flag on steroids. And that's how that was. And that's how the End of Silence was. And it's just, you have a Bootsy loving bass player, a Zakir Hussain loving drummer who can play anything from Mahavishnu to King Crimson to whatever else, and a guitar player raised on everything from Robert Fripp to Jeff Beck, and a singer with no sense of rhythm whatsoever. And so you have this funk groove with this, Vernon Reed, math boy guitar on top, and a cement mixer for a singer. And like the song Low Self-Opinion, that was a classic Andrew riff. Andrew had riffs like You've Got Problems. Like, Andrew, come up with a riff, 3, 2, 1, go. And out comes, the guy was like, just no problem.
Wow.
Just served it up like sushi. And one day, boom, boom, boom. We're like, damn. And he's just grooving, and we all fall in with him. And I wrote that lyric standing there. We came up with that song in an hour.
Wow.
The song Obscene, my personal favorite on that song, that was when I wrote that living in Silver Lake at Maltman and Sunset near Millie's. I lived above Sunset. That was my walking to that $1 store to get my dented mangoes and
oh yeah, I know the dollar store there.
My cheap groceries back.
There's a good
like,
taco joint in that.
Well, I'm sure that neighborhood's nice now. It's all like babies' diapers and broken glass from carjackings when I lived there.
Tarrying is a masterpiece.
Well, thank you.
That song is fucking, that is the ultimate funky groove punch in the face,
Yeah, well, Obscene was my walking to the grocery store riff. So I'd go, dun, 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 dun. And I came to band practice. I hummed that. We wrote You Didn't Need down the one street east of Maltman, whatever it is, Micheltorena, whatever it is. That was where Chris Haskett, the guitar player, is living. I went ding dong over at his place, and I said, I got something. And I hummed that out for him. He wrote it out on the guitar. And we took that to band practice when we would collectively go east to New Jersey for band practice. And, Low Self-Opinion, that's Andrew. Tearing Me Apart was probably Andrew. That sounds like Andrew and Chris with me doing the lyrics.
Right.
Those songs would come together just from sitting in the basement and enduring.
Wow.
And taking them out and like beating the daylights out of them for a year, like 100 shows. And putting out the record. And that was it was a perfect perfect meeting of events. We went out and did the first Lollapalooza because we were Jane's Addiction's opening band for many shows, and we liked each other. And they said, hey, be the opening band. Okay. So we go out and play, like in Minneapolis, we usually play in front of 800 people. That's our audience. But at Lollapalooza, it's 8,000. 2 bands later, it's 18,000. But
right, yeah,
we'll
still.
take it. But still, it's bigger. It's a big deal for us.
And you're on first at noon.
Yeah. And so, no one saw us compared to how many people saw Trent, etc. Fine, but it's an opening slot. We'll take it. Better than anything we're going to do that summer by a million miles.
And it was one of the most iconic tours of all time now.
Right. And a bunch of people, you could tell, people are watching us going, damn, I'll see that again. Like, people liked us. No one booed us. I mean, it was good. And then, I go out and sing with Ice-T later that day, and Sim would go out and play with Susie or with Jane's. We're all playing with each other's bands. Our whole band would go out and play with the Buttholes, both bands on stage at once.
Wow.
We would do it on the Buttholes because we would play together. So we would just basically sit on stage. They would come out, and we would do this meld of the two bands. Then we'd leave, and they'd keep playing. It was really fun. And then I started ending up singing with Body Count all the time. Because I said, come out and do voodoo with me. I'm like, all right, man. So whatever you want. You're like, I'm here all day. Where am I going?
Yeah.
And so then after that tour was over, everyone got 2 weeks home to catch their breath, went and recorded End of Silence. And then 92, February-ish, somewhere January, February, the record comes out. And 6, 7, 8 weeks opening for the Red Hot Chili Peppers, who had just put out Blood Sugar Sex Magic, which was going to be their big record. And so their audience loved us. And they're really, obviously, they're there for the Red Hot Chili Peppers. Let's not get too high on our own fumes. But they didn't boo us. They're like, okay, wow. And we got along with the Chili Peppers. I've known Flea and Anthony since I was 12. I've known them since Black Flag.
Yeah.
And so we get along, and they're a great live band. Ridiculous. It's getting mugged. They're just ridiculous. It's like an army invading.
Yeah.
And they were a live band, they were so physically intense in those days. We're all young, all of us, just feeling our sap.
Bulletproof.
Yeah, and those guys are not kidding around. That live show, they were like the NBA.
Yeah.
And so it was a great double bill because we're not no slouches either.
Not at all.
And so that was, boy, those people got a good night. Those two bands, it was not shabby. And then we played all summer on our own, and then finish the year opening for the Beastie Boys. It was Cypress Hill Rollins Band Beastie Boys.
Yeah.
Imagine that for $25.
Yeah.
And are you kidding? I warmed up every night watching Cypress Hill, do my set, shower, eat, and then run to see the Beastie Boys every night because your tour bus is trapped inside. You're not going anywhere. And why would you leave? The Beastie Boys are playing.
Yeah.
So I saw them at least 50 times. And that was the 91, 92, 90, 91, 92. Write the songs, record the songs, tour the songs. And it was 3 transformative years where the band went from 800 people a night to 1,500 people a night or whatever. Beavis and Butthead, the days of Tower Records up the street, SoundScan, where you could watch your records sell.
Yeah.
So Beavis and Butthead liked the band I was in. They'd show the video he's angry. I like angry. He's big neck. Yeah. All
Kick
that.
ass.
And when Beavis and Butthead like you, guess what?
Yeah.
Middle America buys your record.
Yeah.
And my manager would
the
call.
Siskel of Ebert of MTV back then.
And my manager would call me and go well, SoundScan. And you would get this ticker tape readout of what you did that weekend. And record of the year at Tower. I mean, it was all coming up aces for us. It's 3-point shot. And it was just a great time. It's your 15 minutes.
Wow.
And the only mistake you make is thinking it's longer than 15 minutes. Because some people, like a band like, the Chili Peppers or Pearl Jam, you and I, we get 15 minutes if we're lucky. We get 7 of that 15. Other bands get Ozzy, Sinatra, the Beach Boys, they get forever.
Yeah.
Me, that's never going to be my problem. I got, 2 more tours and then no one will care.
Oh.
Well, you never know. But I never think it's going to last that long. But for some people, it's probably going to be as long as they want. The only mistake you would make is thinking that's a guarantee. You're lucky to get the 15. You're 1 in a million to get, REM. Who stopped on their terms. Mostly you're going to stop when no one shows up and it's Spinal Tap and you're on your 8th drummer. That was, some people in my band didn't get that memo.
Yeah, the bass player.
Me coming from the streets and seeing the way the world works and, really watching things. I knew that we probably were having a great moment. There might be one more record now that we have all this momentum, and we did great with the Wait album. As far as crowd, great tour, good songs, big single, MTV darling.
Huge video. Anton does it.
Radio, made the money, sold the records, big, all of that. But some people in that band thought that that is how it's going to be. And no foul on their part. It's a good life. You know, girls want to meet you. You go into someplace. I like that guitar.
Oh,
somewhat the company finds out that you like that guitar. They send you to.
Oh, I got you.
This microphone I'm holding, it's a Shure. I haven't bought a Shure microphone since 1991.
Wow.
Because they sponsor me since 1991.
Wow.
I get stuff for free all the time. I never think it's going to last, and I always offer to pay. Oh, no. And some people I was in a band with thought, oh, it's always going to be. And I'm like, dude, you better, I don't know what you're ingesting, but you better just come into the practice room and smell my sweat, because that is the only way we're making another record, is when we get down in this crappy windowless hell space and make it happen and go out and kill ourselves on stage live. And some of us thought that, no, it's going to be, and they would say stuff. So I'm like, wow, you bought into the brochure. Like, dude,
delusional
that's all
stuff, right?
That's Photoshop.
Yeah.
She doesn't look like that.
Yeah.
And it's not because they thought they were great. It's just because they had 3 or 4 years of not being able to disprove the theory.
I get it.
And I saw the end. I see the end in everything. They just saw, like, what? It's one beautiful, perfect, sustained, held note. I'm like, no. The lungs are empty.
Yeah.
And the thing, it came to an end. And show business, I've never been on heroin, but it must be pretty good. Or cocaine or any of those, where it must be great because people spend the rest of their lives chasing the initial high. Fame, there's fame and celebrity. I think they're kind of different parts of the same thing. That kind of blush of celebrity, you're going to become 30. Everyone wants the 19-year-old. Be 30.
Yeah.
Don't be 19.
Yeah.
Stop going to a surgeon and having your face played with. And in this city, it's easy to get addicted to that blush of fame, or that first year, or your first 2 records, or when the record company's fawning over you until no one wants you because a guy named Kurt Cobain came to town and they can't find the Warrant promo anymore. And the singer was really funny.
Yeah.
He said, I knew my day was over when I went into my guy's office and I saw a big poster. I think he said Alice in Chains.
Yeah.
He went, oh,
yeah.
Okay. He goes, I realized that was it. I was a woolly mammoth. Okay, good. Know that. And it's not a bad thing. It's just how that mechanic works. Don't get high on your own self-made stash of I'm Mr. Important. And so my whole model it's merit-based. And I know that phrase gets slammed because we have a certain president who gives that to potential new Americans. But I impress when I have finished the thing and I put it out. I prepare and then I go on stage. I earn my applause every night. I don't live for it, but it just seems to happen. I will only want to impress you with the finished project. I don't want an advance. I don't want to be told, oh, this is going to be great. How do you know? I don't even know. I got another year left with this dumb book.
Yeah.
I live up the hill from you, up about 2 traffic lights from you. I sit for like 16 hours a day staring at a damn computer going, does this book suck? I think it's okay. Or am I just high on because I've worked on this thing for since 2013.
Wow.
Is it the fact that I'm still working on it mean it's good, or I just can't let go of this piece of crap? And so I battle that all the time. And so I'm only as good as my last show. I allow myself 180 seconds of post-show euphoria. Finish the show. The stone was taken to the top of the mountain. No one said boo. No one threw a chair at my head. I connected the dots. Okay. Drink your energy drink and go do your VIP. and then run around the punishers, we call them, those guys who want to sign 20 photos of your face from Sons of Anarchy so they can sell it. We call them punishers. Evade the punishers.
Henry, there's a bunch of punishers out front. Go around the tunnel.
We battle punishers. They show up at noon. They're there all day.
Yeah.
Persistent.
Yeah.
And that's my day. But like 2 minutes after I'm off stage, I'm at the bottom of the hill again. I wake up the next day like, okay, go to the gym, get ready, get on the treadmill, start getting the show together. Where I'm at the bottom of the hill with my big ball of dung. I've got to get to the top again because how was last night's show? Doesn't matter. What matters is I have to do a good show tonight. And all I have is something to prove. I have nothing on my side, but I will not screw this up. Yeah. And so I basically go in with no ace in my hand, no chips in my stack, and no confidence. Confidence, I think, is a killer.
Yeah?
Yeah. Because like you'll never see the car that hit you. I got this.
Yeah.
The day I tell you I got this,
boom.
You won't see me the next day.
It's almost like cocky, right?
Yeah, I never want to be cocky. It's how
that happens to me with comedy. I'll have a great run of a couple months, and then out of nowhere, I'll slack a little bit on a little bit of work and stuff, and boom, it hits me like a fucking rock.
Don't let up on it. The stage is not your friend. The stage is waiting for you to get up off of it. It's going to be like you're going to stop one day. Yeah. That stage, it'll still be there.
Yep.
All those places, they outlive you and me. The Fillmore will always be there.
The Ryman, I just did the Ryman.
Wow.
Well, I opened for Bill Burr, but just at the Ryman. It's totally, you're in there. And
I blew it with him.
Why?
Oh, totally blew it with him.
What do you mean?
Okay, you'll love this story super fast. Do you care? I mean,
I love it.
Is this thing going too long?
No, fuck
Am I a pain in your ass?
I would talk to you for 5 weeks, dude.
Okay, here's a perfect mistake I made at Largo. December 2016.
How do you know that?
Blew it, and I'll never get it back because I assumed the worst, my young friend.
Yeah.
Here's what I did.
Yeah.
Many, many years ago when I was on some label called DreamWorks.
Yeah.
I had a press guy I would travel with, and his name was Bill Burr.
Oh, yeah.
How generic is that name? I don't think so.
Not
Bill
at all.
Burr. He was a disgruntled, excellent PR promo guy trapped in the body of a stand-up comic. He would do stand-up when he wasn't doing DreamWorks stuff. He would have me in stitches. We're driving to some interview. He goes into his Mike Tyson imitation. He goes into this. We're on some radio station, and like he sits in with me and does like the last minute. Well, Henry, and he has the whole room, and he's a natural. And so my souvenir of him, and as you've noticed, I don't curse. I do, but just not on recordings. He gave me a copy of my own record, Comin' and Burn, DreamWorks record, with a Post-it on it. Who is this mother? Beep. And it was hilarious. I still have the CD with the Post-it. He quit DreamWorks to pursue a full-time stand-up comedy career.
Wow.
I'm not great with faces because I see so many.
Right.
And I'm dysfunctional. I'm always looking at the ground and mumbling to myself, scratching. And so years go by, and there's this fantastically talented, brilliant comedian named Bill Burr. I don't remember his face.
Right.
I'm like, oh, the DreamWorks guy.
Wow.
Because how many Bill Burr guys are you running into in this life?
And in the comedy.
Right. So come on. How many hairs can you split till there's no hair there? And so I went, I knew him. And people would say, yeah, Bill Burr said this really amazing thing. I said, he was my promo guy.
Wow.
Like he did promo? Yeah, he used to work for DreamWorks.
Wow.
I was sure of it. My big kick-ass agent said, hey, we're dragging Bill Burr, who has a million better things to do than to come see me. We're bringing Bill Burr to your show tomorrow night. Wow. Well, okay. Bill Burr, looking like Bill Burr, comes into my dressing room. Couldn't be nicer.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, man, so you did great. He's like, what? I go, DreamWorks, right? I tell the story all the time about how the great Bill Burr I worked with him at DreamWorks. And he went, no.
Wow.
Wrong Bill Burr. And this is in front of his manager or friend.
Yeah, I'm
even getting that wrong. I don't hold me to that.
Gotcha.
My agent, my manager, and some other people. I'm like, I was mortified.
Whoa.
Most of my internal organs died. And he went, no, that wasn't me. And I went, let's see. Let me eat my boots.
Yeah.
Let me chop off my feet and eat those.
Oh my God.
I am so sorry. And then I explained how many Bill Burr, I mean, he said comedy. It's been 20 years.
Yeah.
20 years.
Yeah.
Since I saw the face, I'm so sorry. I was mortified. He's like, no, it's okay. I go, no, it's not. That's like, I suck for that.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
I don't want you to think I'm disrespecting you, because I got nothing but respect for that guy. I mean, how can you not? He's amazing.
Yeah.
How can you not laugh at that guy? He's incredible.
Yeah, right?
And I got that wrong. And he kind of went, yeah, well, nice to meet you. I'm like, wow. I should just cut off one of my ass cheeks and go home and cook it
man,
and
that's
eat it.
crazy. What are the odds of that?
And I'm lucky. I'm on the third man mailing list, so I get free stuff.
Yeah.
And one of the records I got was Bill Burr at the Ryman.
Yep.
Maybe the show you were on, I don't know. But like third man turned that in one of his shows. He can probably do a week there. Me, I can park there. Anyway, I always would do a little performance space down the street from there. But whenever I look at that record, I kind of go, dude. And whenever I watch him online, I'm like, I will never, first impressions, I'll never get that back. I'll always be the guy who, because he knows who I am, I'm sure. Like,
Absolutely.
yeah, Henry Rollins said some really weird crap to me.
He never said anything to me, and we're tight.
Well,
I mean, we're real tight.
ask him. He'll probably go, oh, yeah.
I'm going to ask him.
And I don't know if he ever saw the show or not. You know, the lights were in my eyes. But, he probably went, okay, I watched him for 7 minutes.
Well, he's probably going like, hey, that guy does drugs.
Please let me go. I have no idea. But I'm a fan. And I am and this is like, I don't know, 2 years ago. And to this day, I'm still like, yeah, I did it.
That's so fucking crazy.
Because I'm all about first impressions. Like, because you never get a second chance. You gotta be, hey, how do you do? Nice to meet you. Because you can't be a jerk and then come back around, hey, I was having a bad day. Everyone just remembers, no, I remember the day you growled at me at LAX.
Wow.
When I got in your face to do a cell phone photograph.
Yeah.
And so I'm in that situation a lot. I'm like, good morning. I haven't slept yet, and some guy's in my face. But that happened.
God, that's a crazy story. Yeah, Same name.
Well, yeah. And both men were funny. I think the one that we know, the famous one, is perhaps a bit funnier, but the dude had me in hysterics, but I'm an easy laugh. Going back again to that thing, I've been around many of my heroes. I'm such a fan of comedians, of actors, of artists, of thinkers and writers and journalists and musicians. I'm just like fanboy. I buy a record, I go to the show, I buy the T-shirt, I'm all about it. Meeting them is very tricky. I've gotten better when you can't, they're unavoidable. You're just like introduced, you go to a premiere or something and suddenly you're shaking hands with Herbie Hancock. You're like, don't screw this up. And so I've just learned to be really quiet and just say, hey, an honor to meet you. Done.
Yeah.
And I'll give you like the 2-minute version of my best moment of that. You want
Absolutely.
it? Okay. 1997, I'm in Europe, one of those massive European festivals. Rollins band has played at like 10 a.m. because we're the opening band because we're old and in the way and no one cares. Like you're playing in front of seagulls.
Yeah.
2 kids face down, still high on
the
ketamine.
DreamWorks era tour, 97.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just like the Death Tour. And we're, no one cares. We're yesterday's music. And so we play at like 10 a.m. Literally, no one sees you. 2 kids face down on ketamine from the rave they had on the field the night before. In 2 hours, Blur will be on stage in front of like 35,000 people.
Yeah.
So I'm standing there licking my wounds with my cold cup of coffee at like 11:30 with nothing to do because I can't leave because the buses have hemmed us in. And I have to listen to roaring crowds like, hey, it's a new single, man. And, but it's never going to be us.
Yeah.
David Bowie walks by me.
Oh, fuck.
And I stand at attention because, like, come on, he rules. And he's like, 20 paces from me. And I don't breathe because I don't want to make a sound. I'm not going to run over there, dude, Diamond Dogs, thank you. I'm like, are you kidding? I worship that guy, but I'm not going to bother him.
Right.
I'm just happy he's walking by. I'm like, I'm within 10 paces of David Bowie. I'm going to remember this for the rest of my life. So I just stand there, clocking him, hair perfect, clothes perfect, just like he is a 10. Just like, look at the man. It's lunchtime and he looks like $1 million.
Yeah.
He's walking by. Rigid. I'm a wax statue. He stops, turns to his left, looks right at me, points at me, and says, Rollins. I figure that's pretty good.
Whoa.
So I go running at David Bowie.
Yeah.
Right arm extended like a lance, not knowing what I'm going to say. Because if I say, Bowie, that makes us like two wizened elders, like good morning, Plato. Hello, Theocletus.
Good day,
like,
sir.
yeah, I don't think so. And so I just went, I just was like this gooey on the inside. And I forget what I said, like, hello, David, or whatever. Hello, Mr. Bowie. And he almost cut me off out of a desire to talk to me. Wow. I said, and he said, you said something in a magazine last month that I found very interesting, and proceeds to quote me back to me.
Wow.
I'm like, okay. My mind is pretty blown. To hear me come out of your mouth, I'll take it. Sounds good.
That's amazing, right?
And I said, so you read an interview of mine? And he kind of almost blew me off. He goes, I read all your interviews. Like, are you crazy? And I read all your interviews. You're fascinating. Now, last year, in a magazine in Germany, you said this. And he quotes me from like a year before. Like,
wow.
And I'm like, okay, my fingers are going numb. I'm like, my ego's never going to recover from this. And I said, okay. And then he said, so when's your new book coming out? And I said, you know I write books? He goes, yes, I've read a few of them. You're very prolific, so I haven't read all of them.
Wow.
But what I've read, I really like. I said, okay. You should just be quiet now. I'm thinking this because, like, this is not good for me.
Yeah.
He said, have you had lunch yet? I said, no. He said, let's go have lunch. And he was on his way to the catering tent. Yeah. So I just went, okay. So I just sat down and had lunch with David Bowie. And it was
incredible.
It was just like life changing.
Yeah.
And, we know some of the same people like Iggy and whatever. And, he knows him better than I ever will.
Yeah.
But just it was one of those moments where you know who I am. And I'm not sitting here to,
that's insane, though, dude.
Smoke up my own keister. But that's happened to me a few times. And it's not because I'm anything. It's just because you'd be surprised how many people go to the record store.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
oh, yeah.
These people, they go to shows too.
Yep.
Like, I go to gigs and I go, oh, there's, and there's, and there's. Or I have done my own shows. And we were in Australia once. In Perth, I think, somewhere. Adelaide, Perth, I forget. And we're playing away, and the guitar player comes up, and he's pale white. Henry, look on stage left. Billy Gibbons.
Wow.
I'm like, okay.
Billy Gibbons.
This isn't happening. And, and, like, couldn't meet a nicer guy. But
he's the best, right?
Yeah, he's so.
He gives you those $2 bills and that pick that's a nickel, like a carved out coin.
Yeah, he gave me a pick many years ago that he got from someone famous, and he because he's a fan too.
Yeah, he is.
It's some old Excello Records pick, and he said, "Oh man, I got this from. It's in my journal. It's an orange pick. I have it. But the info is in my journal." But every once in a while, someone like that comes up and says, hey, loved your last record. And you're like, okay, this is not happening.
I mean, you have a magnitude on me. I've seen thousands of shows, and I name them, it's like, AC/DC on the Power Age tour,
wow.
Nugent on the, Weekend Warriors, Rollins, End of Silence, San Francisco. I saw you at Slim's,
I love that venue. Yeah, Dawn Holiday, she runs it.
But the spoken word one, it has had that impact on me to where now I'm doing stand-up a zillion years later, and I'm going back in time and remembering that whole thing, And it's funny, even when I watch it on DVDs and stuff, it's nothing compared to when I was there.
Sure. I'm a listener. I don't buy music DVDs.
Yeah.
Or like, that you get some box set, like here's the extra DVD.
Yeah.
I never watch it. And it's not because Hendrix at Woodstock isn't great.
Yeah.
I'm good with a record.
Yeah.
Because if I was at the show, fine. I don't want to watch the show in retrospect,
Yeah.
I don't mind the live album, but my point is, it's never like being there because it's just all those added ingredients. Like you're there and you can smell it and you can feel the air move and some guy bumps into you and you go, it's cool, man. And you have all these memorable moments. And even if you were at the show and you watch it, you're like, at least for me, I'm like, okay. Like I have all these music DVDs because I can't not buy them, like The Clash and all this stuff. They're still shrink wrapped.
I'm the same way.
And I love these bands, but I just don't want to watch it.
I'm the same way. I go, ooh, The Clash. I'm all over this. Like, to me, The Clash is just...
It's ultimate.
I can't get enough.
Right.
You know?
I'll listen to the bootleg LP.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I have every Joy Division bootleg I've ever seen. I mean, except the ones I can't afford. I mean, there's some pretty pricey ones. It's like the same 8 shows anyway.
Yeah.
But if someone said, here's the DVD of their show from like London, University of London, I'm like, oh, that's cool. But I got a bootleg of that. The show is great. You don't want to see him move? Yeah, for like a minute. But then I just want to put a record on. Yeah. I don't know why.
Did you enjoy Anton's movie, Control?
Loved it.
I loved it. I thought it was a masterpiece, actually.
You know, it was interesting. There's a documentary on Joy Division, which is pitch perfect. It's like 65 minutes. I can't recommend it enough. It's like some video classic series. It's like a series of bands, and one of them is Joy Division. And it's like BBC grade. It's like perfectly done. Everyone's interviewed. Great live footage where, Ian is just going crazy.
Right.
And like, people who are there, producers, footage of Martin Hannett. I mean, it's all you want as a Joy Division junkie. It's everything you need. I've watched it at least 5 times. I have it in my laptop on long flights. I pull it out. And so I had that watched so many times before I bought Anton's DVD. And so I got halfway through Control, and it was like a motorbike. I wasn't able to get started. So it's on my laptop, so it's not going anywhere. And I just gave it a moment, and then I went back and watched it from the beginning. And the second time I was like, oh, this is amazing.
Yeah.
Like, this is incredible. And if you watch the documentary, you see how you love the movie anyway, but when you see the documentary, you see how hardcore Anton nailed it.
Yeah.
The look of the clubs, the
angles even, like when you see the live footage and then you see his live footage.
Yeah, well, he's a photographer.
And the color of it.
And just how that band was with each other. Like when you watch the interviews, they interview Hook a lot because, very gregarious. And so Hook is, very honest. He's just, like he's a total Manchester boy. It's like right in your face. Him and the drummers said some really intense things about the day after Ian's body was found. The drummer said, so Ian's dead and 3 p.m. for practice.
Ooh, wow.
And there's not a cold-hearted thing. It's a Manchester thing. Like, yeah, the singer died, and so we go on, right? And they did, obviously, New Order. But Hook said a thing, and you can tell it really bugged him. He said, this guy said, so you didn't go to the funeral? He said, no, because I was just young and stupid. And I'm going to quote him. He said, fuck that. I'm just going to go to the pub.
Hey.
And he said, that's what he did. And he said, for the rest of my life, what was I thinking?
Yeah.
He says, it's not like they didn't love the guy. They just,
That's so
you just
dark,
go to the pub.
right? That's dark.
And when you see like the 24-hour party people, whatever that film was.
Yeah,
so great. You see the Joy Division, they have that little section, and they're all like cursing each other and almost like fist fights. That's a Manchester band. Manchester people will hit you right now.
Yeah.
It's a tough town, man. You can get cut up.
Yeah.
I mean, like drive-by shootings, scary gangster guys. Like, the scary British guy's always smiling. You all right? You all right? Like he wants to headbutt you into the next day.
Yeah.
Like Manchester's full of hardcore maniacs.
Lunatics.
Yeah, and the Joy Division guys were like tough Mancunian mofos.
Just man up.
Yeah, and
our buddy died. We're out of here.
It comes up in the documentary but you see it in the movie. You're like, wow, you guys are tough. And I don't know if you've ever sat down with Joy Division bootlegs. I've heard them, kind of everyone I've ever been able to hear, I've heard a million times. I'm addicted to them. Even when they had Love Will Tear Us Apart, and they're like this big band, like right before Ian died, like in 1980. You hear all the shows up to then, before they're getting like huge applause. Between songs, you almost want to go in there and slap the audience. Like they've just done some amazing version of like whatever, Inner Zone or whatever, and it's crushing. And all you hear between songs, hurry up! You're like, shh. I want to go back in time and bitch slap you back into the womb. And all you hear is arguing and piss off between songs. Like they're getting yelled at. And they just like put some hurt on one of their amazing songs. And all you hear is a bunch of people going, hurry up.
That's fucking crazy.
And like,
hurry up.
Almost every Joy Division bootleg. Like they're all online for free.
Yeah.
The noise between songs is like a few people clapping, and everyone else got like, come on.
Hurry up, we got to catch the tube.
And that's a typical Liverpool crowd, Manchester crowd. What the point I'm making is they were rarely in a situation where the crowd wasn't tough, the venue wasn't cold, and there's like pictures of them after the show backstage in some tiny room, all like sticking to their shirts, like smoking with a beer. You're like, rock and roll in England, where you're just like moist all the time and feeling gross. Oh God! I've sit in those backstages in those moldy old theaters I play in England, a country I love to death. But in the summertime, it's 46 degrees backstage. In the wintertime, it's 43 degrees backstage. In August, you see your breath. And it's always like you're always in front of the heater. Like,
just a meat locker.
It's July. How do you do this? Oh, the walls are thick. Like, whatever. How many people died in this backstage? Oh, well, the one guy, we never found him, of course.
Yeah.
But that was Joy Division's life, was just like tough British shows, and they would get a respite now and then. When they would go to the continent, they were gods, like in Paris, like, oh. Yeah. But in England, they're just like, do your show.
What a band, man.
Well, what a band.
What a band.
And I write about them quite a bit, and I always handicap it by saying my writing skills are not good enough to articulate Joy Division. But I said, they're as good as any band that ever was. And when someone finally writes the real book on music, you'll see that Joy Division was like right up there with Bowie and the Rolling Stones. Like, Bowie's great, but he's not better than Joy Division.
Right.
I mean, whatever, Low is a great record, but it's not better than Unknown Pleasures. And so I've been saying that, like, you're going to find out. And it's not even all about the singer. It's about the construction of the songs, the guitar parts, the overdubs, Martin Hannett, how the songs go together. They're just kind of genius. And Peter Hook took some massive chunk of some writing I did about that, and he put it on his website. So I feel
that's amazing.
Very into that. Yeah.
With the Clash, I think they give them enough rope. That's my favorite.
Interesting.
I mean, of course, I love London Calling, but I love that record, man. Sandy Pearlman. It's just a crazy record, and I love the tunes on it. You know?
I love. It's an interesting sophomore record.
Yeah.
You just hear this hyper ambitious band, and that's a Bells and Whistles record. They threw everything in that record.
Yeah.
A million overdubs. Me, it's the first album. This is the first one I heard.
Wow.
And, Janie Jones and their version of Police and Thieves, Garageland. That's just one of my Take Me to My Happy Place records. Whenever I play it, I usually play the A side again. So I just want to spend another 20 minutes in it.
It's so good, man. It's so good.
Yeah, all the records are good.
Were you kind of bummed once you got big and it seemed like guys were just grabbing your persona on stage? Because to me, all of a sudden, it just seemed everybody was doing Rollins,
Oh, honestly, not trying to be humble or anything, I'm not really aware of that. All I'm aware of is a bunch of young, thick-skulled rams at the bottom of the hill in spring wanting to find other rams to butt heads with. And that's all I was. I was just some kind of Nietzschean wad shot on the Serengeti of early 80s independent music. And so basically I was never a musician. I was a gladiator. I was only into music for the confrontational fight aspect. I never went in to sing a pretty song. I went in to go, oh, you think I can't? Okay. I got something for you. I've been training for 3 months for this tour. I'm ready.
Did you ever get any nodes, vocal nodes?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I've been under the knife up in Beverly Hills.
Yeah.
Yeah, they removed a cyst from one vocal cord.
Wow.
Dr. Sugarman.
Yeah, Dr. Sugarman, the best.
Brother of the late Danny Sugarman.
Dr. Sugarman. Everybody.
Yep, Joe.
Yeah, the guy that just cut the lasers off those nodes.
Yep.
Wow.
I have messed with that guy because you couldn't find a straighter person.
Yeah.
I mean, with that Dr. Welby mirror thing on his forehead.
Oh, yeah.
He's so old school. And in the 90s, I was in there a lot because I was touring a lot and having voice problems. And, I said, so you've got the Michael Bolton Platinum records on the wall. So I said, so the Bolt Man comes in here. He goes,
the Bolt Man.
He goes, Michael. I go, the Bolt Man. I go, look, I know that you're a pro and I'm sure you like it. I'm sure he's a really nice guy. And, I'm sure he's talented, the mullet. Yeah. But with a little, you put him under, snip, snip, he goes mute. Music is saved. And he's like, Henry, that's not funny.
Oh, my God.
Obviously, that's never going to happen.
Oh, my God.
He's a very good person. And as his doctor, I can't tell you anything about it, but his picture's on the wall. And there's a mullet flapping in the breeze.
Oh, my God.
Doc, snip, snip. Just snip, snip. It's over so fast.
Oh, my God.
Come on, dude. I'll give you $50 right now to do it.
$50.
I'll give you $50 and I'll go downstairs and I'll buy you a 40. Just do it.
Oh, my God.
And so he's like, ha ha, open your mouth and go, ee, for the vocal cords to come together. And so then I started predating on his receptionist, Vivian, who you could talk really hard to.
No shit.
Like, so Vivian, what are you doing this weekend? When was the last time you woke up in lockup in Long Beach? He's like, all right. Keep talking, tough guy. And she was hilarious.
Yeah.
So I would fax her, like, okay, you go in. I go, you're a tough prod. You go in, you dip your right shoulder, and obviously the Bolt Man thinks that you're dipping your shoulder for a right hook, right? You're going southpaw. You hit him with a left hook and you knock his ass out. Snip, snip. I will pay you $75. I've got $75 here right now. We will messenger it over, and I will put you on the guest list for my next show. $75. And I can't afford 2 tickets. So 1 ticket, $75, snip, snip.
Wow.
And I would send her these emails, and I turned it into this article.
Where? Really?
Yeah. Where I took all the faxes, because every once in a while she'd fax back, Henry, you can't send this kind of thing here.
Yeah.
And I turned it basically into a comedy routine.
Wow.
And the faxes are real. And I would write up this whole thing, like, okay, he's in the parking lot, a bag over the head. Like, we abduct him. Like, we sell him to the Slovenians. They're mean. They'll take some fingers off. They'll weld his eyes shut. And I just had all these ideas for the demise of poor Michael Bolton.
The Bolt Man.
The Bolt Man. And I said, his followers, the Bolt heads, like, these people are sick.
The Bolt heads.
They go everywhere for him. They're just disgusting. I see them in airports with their Bolt hats on. They're ridiculous.
They're up there with the parrot heads.
Yeah.
Oh.
And I've run into those people too.
Oh.
But I made up this whole thing, and I've never met Michael Bolton, nor do I have any problem with the man.
Yeah.
But
God, that's funny.
I saw Dr. Sugarman. Went for a checkup before my last tour, and I hadn't seen him for years. I said, "Hey, Doc." He's like, "Oh, you."
I'm
like,
you.
Yeah. He goes, I remember you. I said, "Yeah,
holy
man."
Shit.
Sniffs. He's like, "Just sit down."
Yeah.
Go ee. Yeah.
Do you warm up before you do these 3-hour things?
Yeah.
A vocal warm-up tape?
I quote from Lincoln speeches and amendments of the Constitution that I like. Yeah, I just use them as kind of a centering exercise. I go in usually going from the 1838 January 27th or 17th speech, the speech, the perpetuation of our political institutions, otherwise known as the speech to the Young Men's Lyceum. It's a famous speech. A lot of the quotable Lincoln,
right?
Like you see on,
at Disneyland when he's out there, that statue.
Yeah, some of that is from this one speech. Basically, it's his House Divided fall speech. Basically, no country, the whole world invading America in a trial of 1,000 years could never so much as take a drink from the Ohio River or lay a tread on whatever the mountain range is. But the only way America can fall in is from within. It is ours to either commit suicide or live through all time. And it's beautiful. He's like 29 when he wrote it. I mean, it's amazing. And he basically said, if we don't get it together, and he kind of touches on racism and slavery, which is could get you killed in those days. A very daring young Lincoln. It was one of his first speeches. And it's like more command of the English language than you will ever have in your life. One sentence of a 20-something Lincoln is better than 5 Shakespeares.
Wow.
And it's all free online. You can read it right now. Read Lincoln. I mean, like, if you want to see a sentence written in English that's better than anything you're going to do this year, any Lincoln speech.
Wow. I mean, 24?
28 or 29.
Wow.
Yeah, he was born in 1820?
That's amazing.
Or 1810? I forget.
Yeah.
But he was super young. And I pull chunks out of that. And before I go on stage, I pace. And apparently repetition helps you concentrate. And that's what I do. I do the First, Fourth, and 14th Amendment.
Wow.
Well, they're in multiple sections.
Right.
I only do the top part, not all the legalese at the bottom. And chunks of Lincoln, and it gets the voice warmed up. It gets the mind centered. You just get everything out of the way. And then you go out on stage with no notes and no water and talk at a high rate of speed for hours at a time.
No water.
No. I prehydrate and rehydrate, which can't be good. But I don't want to ever take my eyes off them.
Wow.
I don't ever want to turn my back and get the drink of water.
Yeah.
Because my fear is I'm going to turn around and they'll all be gone.
Oh, fuck.
I don't want to ever stop talking and take a pause for a sip. Basically, I have taken an intellectual spear right through their breastbone, and I have impaled them to the wall. And when I say goodnight, I pull the spear out and they can go.
Wow.
And I've got them. Deer in the headlights. There's no encore. There's no, just like hold them, hit them, release them.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's incredible. I mean,
Thank you.
I seen it in firsthand, and I'll never forget it. I can't thank you enough for doing the show, man. It's
You got it, man.
It's a total honor. I mean, I just love everything you do, and I'm so glad that you still work and put out, all kinds of stuff.
Thank you.
Your vinyl addiction is amazing. Of course, mine is too. It's all over this damn house.
Yeah, it's like tribbles in Star Trek. All of a sudden, you've got 3,000 of the damn things.
Yeah, right. Well, real quick, what's your system, man? That's a rabbit hole.
It's a rabbit hole. I have 6 systems.
What?
Yeah.
Six systems.
Yeah, I do have some Macintosh gear. I've got some couple of Macintosh Pre's and 2 Macintosh mono blocks that go to a pair of Sophias, Wilson Sophias. My main system. Let's see, VTL.
Oh yeah.
Big mono blocks. Let's see if I can get it right. The Alexandria 3.
Right.
It's that big 6.5 foot tall, 360-pound speaker.
Right.
They make them one at a time. It's Wilson's big speaker. You order them months in advance. So I have the Alexandrias, the newer ones with VTL, whatever those massive mono blocks, VTL Pre. A Monaco 1.5 turntable with a triplanar tone arm.
Wow.
And a Greta stylus.
Wow.
And so that's my main system, and that's about $500,000.
Whoa.
It's like a $30,000 turntable.
Right.
The speakers were the main cost.
Right.
The VTL guy, the owner, came in and installed the amps himself because he was a fan and wanted to meet me. I had bought from Wilson before.
Yeah.
I bought the Sophias, the smaller.
Right.
They're about that size.
Right.
It's kind of their version of that. I bought them, and they made note of who bought them. And so when I went knocking on the door again, the guy who put it all together for me said, "I'm going to tell them it's you, and they'll knock some bucks off because they like you,
Yeah.
and they'll be stoked that their gear is in your place,
Right.
And they like my store, and like we'll shave some money here and there because you will be spending a lot." And I did. And it was a system that I saved. And I would come to the end of a long tour and go, okay, this time around I'm going to do it. And then I would just go, nah, next tour. And finally Heidi said, okay, it was near the end of 2012. And she said, let's go listen to that system. So we took the first Stooges album because it's pure. If it doesn't sound good, it's not the record's fault.
Right.
And we took some Humble Pie, again, pure.
Humble Pie.
Because, what do you can't beat that.
Yeah, right.
And so I called the guy and I said, so do you have an Alexandria 3 set up in a listening room? And he's a total push. He's like, of course.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
go, anytime. He was like, Henry, for you, we're open 24/7. I'm like, okay, pusher.
Yeah, yeah.
So you go in there, you put the record on, and you sit in this room, and you hear what a record can sound like through that. And I go, wow. And I don't keep track of my money.
Yeah.
I just work. I just work. How you see me dressed and sitting in front of you is how I live.
Yeah. Yep. Subaru.
Yeah, well, it's now a Mazda 6.
Yeah.
Trader Joe's, I do my own laundry. I just, I eat out of cans. I don't care.
So it's strictly, your money is strictly like vinyl. You're not going out buying watches and cars.
No. Everything I buy, I can probably resell it for more than I bought it for, and I can at least use it again. Yeah. So I'm not buying champagne. I buy records and books. So I can read the book again, but I can definitely play the record 300 times and grow old with it. And so those records will probably appreciate. And being old, as I am, and buying records since I was in high school, I have a record collection that I probably couldn't afford now.
Right.
Because all my Misfits records I bought for $3.
Original. Yeah, right.
Or the band gave me extra copies because I would crash at their mom's house.
Wow.
I got all my Discord records and the test pressings free because my best friend owns the label. And so I was kind of around, who's Skidoo, my friends. Of course they gave me their records. I have records like that, which are, the eBay hen's tooth now. But for me, it's just what was at the store for $2.99. So, I bought my Cramps records from the road crew at their Cramps show.
Yeah.
That's how I bought Human Fly, $3. Anyway.
So you go with the records and you sit down.
Yeah. And so
you put them on.
I have 6 systems, 2 audiophile, one with like NS10s, for making radio shows and podcasts. And the others are just kind of hybridized. One of those, a pair of those that Yamaha I got somewhere and whacked that in. Oh, sounds good. And so extra tape decks, as they really don't make them anymore.
Right.
I've got 3 or 4 just pro decks that I just have.
You got cassettes?
Oh, yeah. It's analog, definitely.
Wow.
Yeah, and I traded a lot of tapes in the 80s. And some bands have actually made their live B-side for their single from my tape collection or parts of their official live album from my tape collection because they don't copy this stuff. I did because I'm your fan.
Yeah, yeah.
And some bands, I know some artists, and I said, hey, have all your master tapes stacked like pancakes between your stereo and a heater. That's really not how you should do that. Can I have all your tapes so I can store them in my facility that's climate controlled?
Wow.
With UV coated everything?
Yeah.
And they went, yeah. I said, I'm not selling them. They're yours. But let me take care of them. And so I am mother hen of other people's tape.
Oh, man.
Or, people go, hey, you're not going to burn your house down. I go, probably not. Would you hold on to this? This is like my one tape of them. I'm like, yes, you'll always know where it is. And so I get stuff like that. I just, I worship Iggy. He's like, I just think he's the best thing. I've never seen any Iggy acetates ever.
Wow.
And an acetate, you make one at a time.
Right,
It's different than a test pressing. I found the acetate for RCA Italy, the 1977 Idiot acetate.
Wow.
I'm willing to bet there's only one in the world.
Wow.
And I just got it, and I sent high-resolution photos of the labels and the tear sheet to Iggy's manager. And I said, what do you figure? Is that cool or what? And he's like, wow. I said, does Iggy care about this stuff? He goes, I don't know, but I do. This is really cool.
Wow.
And I said, yeah, man, I'm a fan. And
oh, shit.
There's no way I wouldn't be able to sell that to at least 3 other people I know for 3 or 4 times the amount I bought it for.
Right.
And I never plan on selling anything. What I'm saying is I don't like spending money.
Yeah.
I don't like counting it. I don't like I meet with the accountant now and then, and my only question is, am I doing anything stupid? She said, no, I would have called you. But you sure like records. I'm like, yep.
Yeah.
And I buy my food in cash. And so she goes, okay, so we're aware of plane tickets and records and books. You are eating. I'm go, yeah, I go to the Trader Joe's. That's it. I'm fine. But am I overspending? She goes, no. I'll let you know. So I said, she always says, is there anything you want me to do? I go, yes. If I ever get within 10 miles of even being near overspending, you'll shout me down and tell me to stop. She goes, yes. And in 22 years, I've been told that only once.
Wow.
Like, yeah, a little heavy on the vinyl, but some super rare stuff came up, and it's like one of a kind stuff, and either I bought it or the German guy would have bought it, so I had to buy it. And I explained, I said, this was one time only. She's okay. Don't make a habit of it. Just let, I'm doing my job. Tap the brakes. I said, okay.
Where are you finding that stuff? Online? Collectors?
Super private collections.
Wow.
Where it never goes on eBay. You just get an email from a guy who knows a guy.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay, it's between you and another collector, but I like you and I like him, but he's slow to pay. I know you pay on time. So here's what I've got. Here's how much it costs. That is the price. I'm not,
Yep.
It's not cheaper for the other guy. That's the price. And I trust this guy. And here's your email. And I'd like to hear from you ASAP. And I'm on a moving tour bus going sold.
Whoa.
And these are records literally, you're never going to see them anywhere else. Because usually a record like that's an acetate.
Yeah, right.
Cut once, cut that, done.
Yep.
And if I can, I'll get someone from the label or the band to write me a note of provenance. And I have a handful of those.
Holy shit.
And I actually will sometimes go to the band and go, okay, this is legit, right? And they go, oh, so I had that 10 years ago and I sold it to a guy. I said, I bought it from him.
Wow, that's even cooler.
Yeah. And the other day I was with a legendary punk rock guitar player, and I said, I just got the acetate for your fourth single. And he said, I had a bunch of stuff from my band and I sold it to a guy in London. And I said, yeah. And it was this, and this. He said, yeah. I said, it's all at my house now. He went, well, that's how that, it just makes the rounds.
Yeah.
And that's how the upper end stuff I've acquired in the last few years, rarely is it on eBay.
Yeah.
eBay is kind of for and I'm on eBay literally every day. But that's for the masses where it's like me and 8 other sweaty men going,
Yeah.
The crazy rare stuff is the email.
Wow.
Hey, this box just got unearthed from a collection that's been sitting in a closet for 10 years. And I like you, and you're a good customer because you pay on time and you pay in full. And it's amazing how many people don't pay slowly or in parts.
Yeah.
I just figured you do that once, that guy will never email you again. And I've gotten some nosebleed rare someone's crying somewhere records.
Wow.
In emails where I've never met the seller, or in fact I couldn't even get the person's name until after the sell.
Right.
And I had to Sherlock Holmes and did I just buy this thing from you through that guy? And a hesitant yes. And that's the only thing not yeah, man, cool.
Yeah.
Nothing, just yes.
Yeah.
I don't want you to know me. I'm not looking to correspond with you.
Yeah.
And I said, well, if you unleash any more stuff like that, would you please have our friend contact me? No reply.
Wow.
Which means probably maybe.
Yep.
But we're not pen pals.
That's amazing, man.
And because that guy doesn't exactly want you knowing who he is.
That's some dark interweb, but vinyl style.
It could be because someone's house just got popped.
Oh yeah.
I don't know.
Right.
None of these records have I seen as I look this stuff up, I've not seen someone's house got popped and all his records got taken.
Oh, yeah.
Because then I'd have to do something.
Yeah.
Because that's not right.
Yeah.
But everything I have record-wise, it's really rare. It's because some guy from a record label either cleaned out a drawer and went, oh, the last A&R guy left this. Or he said, screw it, I have a closet full of crap from the 70s of a label I no longer own. And I just brought in some guy from the local record store just to buy it off me for $500 dollars or pounds, and then he brokers it out. And there are some records, if you're a collector boy, that will make your head spin.
Really?
Yeah, there's stuff out there. And I know some collectors, and we make each other wine. And
Like who? Like Rick Rubin? He's a big collector, right?
I know Rick, but I don't know him in that way, in that I'm not trying to keep anything from you.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know him as a collector. I know him as a man who loves music.
Yeah.
But I don't know him as a collector.
Right.
Like I'm a collector.
Right.
Like I'm in acquisition mode about 24 hours a day.
Wow.
Always looking. Are you kidding?
Wow.
There's never enough stuff. Rick, and I've spent quite a bit of time with him.
Yeah.
I've never seen that. Lots of music, but he's not pulling out the...
Yeah.
He just can tell you about, 80 million hours spent with Johnny Cash.
Yeah.
He has stories I'll never have, but I've never seen the rare whatever.
Right. Do you play the records?
I played that acetate of the Idiot the other day because it was in such good shape. Rarely do I play acetates. If I play them, it's only to record them.
Oh, yeah.
Because quite often with an acetate, you're hearing different mastering attempts of like a big single. So they one single, there'll be 4 7-inch acetates for the head guy to hear, like too much treble, or the producer.
Yeah.
And sometimes a producer dies or a manager dies, and that's how this stuff, it comes up in an estate sale.
Yep.
And again, you get the little birdie in your ear. And so some of these I've only played straight into a hard drive to record them, because acetates will fall apart after a couple of listens. This acetate looked old, but it looked pretty good. And so basically it just sounds like a tired version. It sounds like a much played version of the Idiot. There's like no EQ difference that's recognizable. It's just like, okay, it just sounds like a version of the album, like with cloth over your ears. It's a little muffled and kind of dull sounding, because it is what it is.
Yeah.
Probably sounded better 40 years ago.
That's amazing, man. I mean, I love vinyl and I'm a vinyl freak, but I don't have the money, but I have like a blue collar system, and
that's all. But what you have is all you need.
It's great. That's it, man.
Yeah,
That's it.
Truly. I mean, if you have a good stylus, and a good amp, the rest kind of sort of doesn't matter. I mean, good speakers are good.
Yep.
I'm no expert, but it's what goes into the speakers that matters.
Yeah.
The speakers are speakers. I mean, there's different, but it's what they're getting. It's the gruel you're hurling at them, and so it's all about what's going into and coming out, and so it's your amp, it's your preamp, and it's your stylus. And
to me, I just love the non-ADD of listening to records.
Yeah, they sound different. I mean, CDs don't sound good.
Yeah, CDs are gone.
And on an audiophile system, like you put on something like Ziggy Stardust or something, and you'll almost cry. I mean, it's moving. It's an emotionally moving experience. It's worth every penny. And I was playing Black Star. That's a hard record for me. I just miss David Bowie a lot. But I played Black Star on my big system, and I just sat there, just kind of like I was watching a movie. You watch the songs. You're just kind of like, that's a miracle. Like, that's just wow.
What a great record.
Yeah, you just kind of fall in love with the air. You're like, wow, this is. And I'm not a very happy person. I'm just kind of always gloomy and nervous. As kind of buoyancy neutral as I get, as they say in scuba diving, is when I have the records on. And last Friday night, I've got my caffeinated drink and my bubbly water and some Cramps 7-inch bootlegs, and I was so happy. I've got my little summer camp with my Cramps 7 inches, and I'm listening to Brian Gregory and Lux and Ivy and Nick Knox, and I'm just, wow. It's a $3 bootleg, and it doesn't matter if it's a good system. It's just, I'm here with the Cramps, and this is kind of sort of all I need.
Yeah.
I mean, truly, man, I could do that with a one-speaker tape deck. I mean, me and music, it's as good as my life gets besides being on stage.
It's been my life, my whole life.
Yeah, I mean, truly, it's all you need. You're like, well, there's nothing for breakfast tomorrow. Yeah, but we got this record. We'll be fine. Like, screw it. We
There's
got
no
raw
TV
power.
in my house. There's no TV.
I don't have a TV.
Yeah, there hasn't been a TV in my life since 9 years ago. And even before that, it was there and I never even looked at it.
Yeah, I'm in hotels a lot, as you do in this business.
Yeah.
I never turn the TV
turn it on
on.
ever.
I put my towel over it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, because you don't want them to infrared. Yeah.
Well, no, I just I dry the towel. I just throw it over the TV, so I'm not going to use it for anything else. I'll watch news like Rachel Maddow or whatever.
Right.
But on the treadmill, I'll watch something on Netflix.
Yep.
I watched the Jinx the other day over 3 different workouts. But I don't want to. TV's depressing to me.
It really is.
And the fact that, like, wow, what did I just do for the last 4 hours? I sat and I watched some guys hunt ducks. Like,
Fuck that.
I don't mind producing the show or making the show, but I don't want to watch.
Yeah.
I'm not interested in parades unless I'm it or in it.
Yeah.
And so I haven't had a TV since 2000. Wow. A long time ago.
Yeah.
And I let the DirecTV thing run out. I just never renewed it.
Yeah.
Because it just became this paperweight that I gave the TV away.
Yeah.
Big old.
That's what I did.
I gave it away.
Yeah, mine had that big tube in the back. It was like the Sony Trinitron HD, but it was still the big triangle in the back.
Yeah, and
weighed like 900.
And it tries to leave your arms when you pick it up. It's
Yeah.
always waiting. You're, no.
Yeah.
I gave it to a friend of mine. She goes, "Oh, I love your TV." I said, "Get your friend with the pickup truck, and he better be strong because the two of us will take it to the pickup truck. If you can get it out of here without breaking it, you can have it." She's like, "Really?" I said, "I am not picking that thing up on my own."
Fuck
So I
that.
tried it once.
Yeah.
And it'll jump out of my arms and break. So she brought her friend over with a little pickup truck, and we humped it out of my house, and I've never seen it again. And I'm like, here, no, it's because she was like, "What can I said, no. I'm happy that I no longer have to worry about it. Just take it. I'm glad it's gone. I'm so glad it's with you." It was good TV. I think I gave her something like a DVD player. I said, just here, take all the wires. And I just don't.
Yeah.
I don't want to watch. But I'll put a hurting on some records. I'll listen for sure.
Dude, it was great having you, man.
Thank you.
So awesome. I can't thank you enough. What do you got? You got some stuff coming out, man?
Yes.
On tour?
A new book in September. I have a tour starting in September. Let's see, new book in September, tour starting in September of me and my slideshow, me showing my photos of everywhere from here to Pyongyang, me, a high definition projector and a screen, and me clicking and telling the story about the photo.
Rad.
Antarctica, Iran, Iraq, Central Asia, Sudan, Mali, Uganda, Cuba, Haiti,
Wow.
Vietnam, Cambodia,
Wow.
Antarctica, Tibet, and some others. I'm sure I'm free. Burma, I think.
That's amazing.
Myanmar. Yeah, and so I'm doing that until Christmas. Another show just got added on in Vienna today. I said yes to it. Instead of finishing in Germany, we'll probably finish. And I think from there, I'm finishing like near Christmas. I think I'm just going to go to Reykjavik for a week on the way back. I've never been. I've already mapped out all the record stores.
Haha.
And so I'll go there and just dig some cold and dark, and then I'll come back here and work and through Christmas on some book projects. And then next year, 2019, hopefully some acting. I'll have 3 books ready to go.
Wow.
So I've been writing and editing, so they'll all kind of come out in one kind of convulsive burst. But 1 for September and at least 2 for next year.
That's
'Cause
amazing,
They're
man.
done. They just
Yeah.
have to be copy edited and redlined to death.
Wow.
So, and that'll basically be me until the 2020 tour, which will take me into 2021. That'll be about 14 to 15 months. And that'll be the big one, like, all the way around the
Yeah.
Australia. I'll be in Australia in about a week and a half for the Splendor in the Grass Festival.
Oh, wow.
So I'm going to get to Melbourne before I have to go to Byron Bay to hit the record stores, especially Strange World. Richie Ramone, guy owns this great record store. So I'll go. I warned him. He knows I'm coming. So I'll go with a couple of empty record bags. I usually go right from the airport right to a store to stay awake. And so I'll go to his place and spend 4 or 5 hours, and I'll buy records from him, and then I fly up to Byron, Bay, do a couple of shows, then fly back here, and then I'm kind of sort of here until I leave for tour in mid-September. Showtime special out in August 12 or 14.
Wow,
it's
badass.
called Keep Talking, Pal.
Wow.
Like, keep talking, pal. You're funny. You're funny, right? Keep talking, pal. One day you'll be funny.
That's great.
So yeah, a lot as usual. Just kind of a lot going on. The Showtime thing's a big deal.
That is a big deal.
Talk about crapping an elephant when that was over. Like, no pressure. Your agent is there. Showtime people are there. So you're feeling good. You're like, I feel better if you weren't staring at me.
Yeah.
But I did 2 sets that night at a place up in Portland. Great audience. Great
Revolution
time.
Hall?
No, I did a little place because they said, what do you want for a venue? I said, I want it tight. I usually do the Aladdin. I like that place.
Oh, that place is great.
Yeah. I do 1 or 2 nights there. I forget the name of this place. It's small. I said, I want a small place. I just want an audience that's sitting right in front of me. So I just want it fast. I want the response fast.
Yeah.
I just like little, for anything being recorded, I hate big rooms. Because and I did this 3, 4,
Oh, yeah,
come
fuck that.
3,
yeah.
4, and it's like tennis, but you're a mile away.
Yeah.
I want table tennis where like the ball's in your face.
Yep.
And so I said, I want a small place where everyone can see the whites of each other's eyes. We can smell each other, and it's easier to shoot. It's cheaper to shoot, budget, and it's just we can crush it and so it's like a, I don't know, 300 or 400 seaters. So we put the tickets up, they blew out, and the crowd was super duper cool. It's just, great. I have a great audience there. And so I said, Seattle or Portland. We could make Seattle work. And so Portland worked. Just, it's easy to get a film crew up there and back to LA.
Totally.
So I said, I'm assuming we're taking a lot of this on our backs. And they're like, yes. I said, okay, well, we'll stay on the Pacific coast. And so it's now July. I'm inducting Seymour Stein into some Grammy thing on the 14th of July.
Wow.
Some lifetime achievement thing.
That's amazing.
Yeah. He signed Madonna and the Ramones and the Talking
absolutely.
Heads and the Saints and on and on and on. Some band called Depeche Mode, and there's some band called the Smiths. I heard they were good.
Yeah, those
That's
guys.
all Seymour.
Yeah.
And his autobiography.
Those guys had a couple songs.
Yeah, a few. Yeah, Depeche Mode, I think they did okay. Madonna, I guess. Did she ever get out of the clubs?
I don't know.
That's all Seymour.
God.
I mean, and his
Just
stories.
genius.
Yeah, no, a real record guy. And so I had him on my radio show about a year ago, and his daughter said, hey, he has a book coming out. I said, well, send it to me. She said, I want you to interview him for his book release thing. I said, sure. I like Seymour. And then the Grammy people contacted me, or someone contacted me and said, hey, you want to induct him? I said, yeah. How cool. And so, yeah. And, tell you how real Seymour is. I know you got to get out of here. But
I don't got to get out of here.
I had Seymour on my radio show on KCOW. I said, have you heard the new mono mix of the first Ramones album? They put it out in the box set version. It's really good. He said, no. I go, well, it's on your label. They didn't give you one. So I said, well, let's play a track. So we listened to the mono version of Blitzkrieg Bop with a live count in. It blows the stereo version away. It's so good.
Really?
It'll blow your doors off. Seymour Stein, 75 years of age, starts singing Blitzkrieg Bop.
Wow.
We're all in a room. Me, his daughter, Heidi, KCOW people. Everyone wanted to shake the hand. He's singing Blitzkrieg Bop as tears come from his eyes.
Wow.
And we're like, wow.
Wow.
And you're in a room with a dude who said, sign them.
You know what blows my mind? You get a Ramones record, and it totally lights your head up. And then on the cover of Get in the Van here, you're playing the Palladium.
Yeah.
And it's fucking the Ramones
Yeah.
and Black Flag.
Yeah. 11/17/84. Whenever I drive by the Ramones, I drive by the Palladium.
Yeah.
That photo, I look and I match all those cops' feet to the front of the Palladium. I was there the other night to see someone play. I helped her get into America. I wrote the letter to recommend her. So I went to go see her play, and I took that walk. And everyone's younger than I am, so she's opening. So she has to wait for the big band to finish the show before she can leave. So I was leaving. I said, well, next time you're in town, come by the house. I'll give you the grand tour. So I play her on my radio show. She said, I'll come over right now. I said, well, I guess you will. And so we're walking back towards my mighty Mazda 6. And I said, you don't know this, but the exact trail, I said, the reason we're walking on this straight line, because on 11/17/84, after the Ramones Black Flag show at the Palladium that we're right at, I was walking next to Joey Ramone, right in the general direction. He's going to his van, I'm going to mine. And we're walking towards our respective vans.
Wow.
And a girl runs up to Joey Ramone right about here and gets in his face and says, rock star, I don't want to know you. And it was like a lyric or something. And I'm used to people yelling at me. And I thought no one would yell at Joey Ramone. They would only yell at me. And this girl was like, didn't care about me. She was in Joey's face.
Yeah.
And Joey, it didn't even register. We just kept walking.
Yeah.
And I told her that story. And she said, wow, I wasn't even born. I was like, And so I said, well, I guess I'm really old. I said, good story though, right? She goes, I guess. My dad would like it. But
I met those guys on the KKK Took My Baby Away, the Pleasant Dreams tour.
yeah, that would be, 81, 82?
Yeah,
somewhere in there.
Phoenix Theater, Petaluma, California.
Yeah. Last time I hung out with Joe, we were standing next to each other at a Dictators show, stage right at CB's. And after the show, me and Joey did photos with the Dictators, some freezing February night in 95, 96. And someone took photos. And I always wanted those photos. And I knew there was a photographer there. And like after you never see the photos, you think, well, I must have been high that night. There wasn't a cameraman. But wait a minute, I don't get high. There was a cameraman there. So I called Mandy Stein one day, daughter of Seymour. I said, here's what happened. Well, February 96, Dictators, me and Joey, I want that photo. She goes, I know exactly who that was. I know that guy. He was always at CB's. In 48 hours, she sent me 2 JPEGs.
That's insane.
Of that. She goes, like, I said, older guy, new Hilly Crystal, new Joey, new handsome Dick. Like, apparently he's well known. She goes, oh, I know that guy.
Yeah.
Did photos for my dad. And like, she said, no, I'll get this done for you. And she found him, because I don't know him. And she knew exactly who, some famous old salt. And within, I don't know, 48, 72 hours, that photo.
Wow.
And I show it to people to this day. It's the last time it was right before Joey started getting sick.
God, that's crazy.
Yeah.
You got the photos. That's amazing.
Yeah. I got photos. And in that book, that Get in the Van book, is me and Johnny.
Yeah.
And I was with Johnny right before he passed away. I was at his place. He wasn't looking great. You know, it's tough. And he said, hey, have you heard of this documentary, Into the Century? I go, yeah, it's the Ramones documentary. It's not out yet, because I'm a fan. I know all this stuff.
Yeah.
He said, you want to see the final edit? And I said, well, I'll see it, you know, when it hits the theater, subtext, probably after you're gone.
Yeah.
And he goes, well, I have to approve the final edit, subtext, before I pass away.
Wow.
And I'm going to watch it tonight. You want to watch it? I'm like, okay. And so me, him, and Linda sat down and watched the final edit of End of the Century. And I sat with Johnny to my left, right next to him, watching Johnny watch Johnny. And it was surreal. Because like they're on stage at CBGB's and he's like this big, tall, you know, like rangy alpha, total, you know, big cordwood kind of guy. And sitting next to this guy watching himself. And after the show's over, I said, do you realize how many bands need to thank you? Like, you saved rock and roll.
Absolutely.
I mean, like, you're the defibrillator. I mean, rock and roll was dying, and we have rock and roll now thanks to you. I mean, like, you made 1 million bands happen. You changed lives. And I just I heaped all these accolades on them. And he looked at me like he was bored. He went, I know. But that's classic Johnny. Yeah. Only Johnny gets to say that because it's true. But that's just typical Johnny. Wherever anyone else would be like, "Oh shucks," he's like, "What do you mean? I know,
man.
I'm Johnny Ramone. I was there."
I recently went to that neighborhood where they grew up, man, and just to be there, I walked out of the subway where they took that photo.
Yeah,
my buddy took a picture,
oh,
and
nice.
It's just so iconic. That band, that film's incredible.
Yeah,
God.
Yeah, I can't. Every once in a while, I'll be somewhere like on a tour bus, and the the Rock and Roll High School film comes up, and at this point it's Pavlovian. Like I always laugh in the same places in Blazing Saddles or whatever. I cry.
Yeah.
Whenever they have like the Live at the Whiskey footage or Roxy, wherever they did the live footage up the street from here, I see them playing, and I can't help it. I don't sit there and weep, but just tears fly down my face. And I just like, oh, are you okay? I'm like, no, I'm fine. It just happens when I watch this film.
Oh.
I was at Hollywood Forever, big Ramones hoedown.
Yep.
I was one of the announcers, me and Steve Jones, I think. And they played Rock and Roll High School. PJ Souls was there, I think one of the producers, and everyone took a bow, and they played the film. And I'm there with Heidi, and and I'm just in a seat, a folding chair with the tears down my. I can't help
man.
it. 'Cause I miss them. I love those guys. They changed my life. You know, they made you see what was possible. You go, wow, look, that's real rock and roll. And you know, I used to go get sweated on them. And then, luckily, in 1984, Black Flag opened for them not only in LA but also in Arizona. So we did like 2 shows
incredible.
in 3 or 4 days with them.
Right.
And before the show, we would hang out with Johnny and Dee Dee. Joey would find a place to be, and Marky was no, it wasn't Marky on that tour. It was that other guy. He was never around. The Too Tough to Die drummer.
Right.
But they were always nice enough to me. I met Tommy a couple of times.
They were super cool. They told us where they were staying. We were like,
that was their thing.
It was like, whoa, we're going over there.
Yeah. Tommy was always really nice to me. All of them were. Every great one. I used to live at Second and 12th for a little while, 93. And Johnny lived at like 3rd and 11th or so. And so I lived kind of, a couple up and one over from his apartment. I'd see him all the time going to the deli, and I never got over it. I'm like, that's Joey. Like, well, yeah, that's the deli, and get used to it. And I loved living there because I'm such a fan. And Chris was, the guitar player, lived near NYU. And so he would always have like, I saw Tom Verlaine on Friday, Lou Reed on Sunday, and I walked by Al Pacino this morning. I'm like, I love this town.
Yeah.
We're like, saw Iggy in the park today. And like, that's just your life. Martin Rev of Suicide lived he was on like 5th.
Yeah.
And I'd see him, like the sunglasses. I'm like, Martin frickin' Rev is my neighbor.
Wow.
God, I love this town.
I see Rick Ocasek all the time.
Rick's great. Such a great guy.
He's so great, right?
He's such a cool dude.
What a king.
Yeah, he just wears his celebrity well. I met him through Alan Vega from Suicide.
Yeah, I've seen him twice now in the last few months, and he stops.
I met him a couple of times at like Tower Records, and it's just so cool because who doesn't like the Cars?
Oh my god!
But the fact that he's so like, oh hey, I'm Rick. I'm like, I know who you are,
dude. The Cars are god to me.
Yeah, and just a sophisticated band. That Panorama record's really tricky. I mean, it's a musician's band. I mean, they had more than just the hits. They were really deep.
Oh yeah.
I mean, they had a lot of because he's a weirdo. I mean, he's got a lot of interesting stuff going on. He's very Mark Mothersbaugh-y and just kind of like a lot under the hood.
Devo's my favorite.
Yeah, Devo's. Mark's a genius.
That's my favorite.
Yeah, Mark is a genius. I mean, Mark is.
Yeah.
I've met a handful of them in my life of geniuses. Mark is one of those guys. Like you're like, yep, they broke the mold on him.
Hands down, just one of the most iconic, crazy original bands of all time.
And smart, angry. Like, Jerry is mad to this day.
Yeah.
Like he's super political.
Yep.
Like you've seen the famous Kent State shots.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, that one
I had
famous
him on this
shot.
show, man.
Yeah, that was his friend.
I mean, know.
Like, that was real.
That's real.
I mean, that made he's angry to this day.
Yeah.
I mean, that changed his whole life. And I think Mark too, but Jerry, I mean, I don't know what Jerry was like before that. The Jerry you know now, I can't claim to know him well.
Right.
But like that woke him up. He saw kids getting killed for nothing.
Yeah, he said he was a hippie.
Exactly.
A super hippie, and then he went, fuck this, the next day.
And I don't think, I think once you get, as they say, woke, as the kids say, I think if you get woke at something like Kent State, that's you. You don't go, well, that was then. Like, no, that's right. That's right now.
Yeah.
Everything from your PTS to your anger, knowing it was wrong. Those kids got slaughtered by Americans. That was friendly fire. And if that ignites your music fuse, I mean, you'll never shut him up.
Never.
And man, unfortunately, that 2014 Record Store Day live at Max's Kansas City Record Store Day record that Devo made, they didn't make enough of them, and it sold fast. And now it's like an $80 eBay record. Yeah, it is so good.
I got it.
It is so good.
I got all their shit, the crazy demos they put out on vinyl, the box of everything Devo, everything. Devo is just, I've seen them many times, and they just blow my mind.
Yeah, Saturday night, I play that live at Max's record, and I just sat in front of my speakers going, as good as it gets.
It's fucking great.
Yeah, I did the liner notes for the Hardcore Devo re-release on Subterranean. Steve Subterranean. Not Subterranean, Superior Viaduct. I apologize, Steve. Steve Superior Viaduct wrote me. He said, you want to do the liner notes for Hardcore Devo Volumes 1 and 2? I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
So I said, attention spuds, awake.
Amazing, man. You got any great Mabuhay Garden stories?
Yeah. Okay,
that's my town.
I'll tell you the two, and then how long have I don't want to get a parking ticket.
Oh, shit. Yeah, you've been on 3 hours.
3?
Yeah, I think so. Let's see. Well,
what time is it?
It's 3:10.
Oh, no. I think I got it. It's a 2-hour parking out there?
Yeah, but they seem to I don't know.
Well, okay.
Okay, let's do it.
First great
Mabuhay.
Mab story.
Yeah.
Jello Biafra and the Dead Kennedys was a band I worshipped growing up. Suddenly, I'm Jello's peer. I'm in the other band.
Yeah.
I'm in Black Flag. There was that piano, I think, kind of off stage, leftish.
Right.
My first set with Black Flag at the Mab, I dove off stage, bounced off that piano, I think. If I'm wrong about the piano part, maybe I bounced off the piano somewhere else. But I flew off stage and landed on someone and pinned them to the floor. Hi, Jello. Sorry.
Oh,
hello.
Wow.
And so but I had already known Jello.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, hey, man. And so that was that time. And then October, November 81, somewhere in there, I'm on the bottom floor. The On Broadway is the upstairs venue.
Yep.
I'm in a trench coat trying to get 40 minutes of sleep before a 2-set night in the freezing Mabuhay Gardens. And I hear a band sound checking upstairs. I'm like, okay, they just did a Misfits song. Okay, they're covering a Misfits song. They just did another Misfits song. That's the song from their new single. How does a cover band? Well, they must be a Misfits cover band. I'm going to walk up the fire escape up the back.
Yeah.
And see who thinks they're the Misfits. I come out of the fire escape door, second floor, behind the stage, walk around stage right. It's the frickin' Misfits.
Wow.
No one told me they're playing that night.
Yeah.
And I walk around and I walk by, I think, Jerry Only. I'm like, that's Jerry Only. I mean, are you kidding? And then I'm looking right at Glenn Danzig.
Wow.
I'm like, okay, pinch, still awake. And I think it was Jerry went, Henry Rollins, Black Flag. I was like, oh, yes, sir.
Wow.
He said, what song do you want to hear? I said, Bullet. 1, 2, 3, 4. And they played Bullet. What do you want to hear now? I said, Horror Business? And I was like a kid in a candy store.
Wow. Private concert.
Met them all. Went back downstairs to my dungeon, did my show, ran upstairs to see them. They played Plan 9 from Outer Space on a paper screen. At the end of the movie, they come bursting through the screen and start playing. And they recorded it live that night, and they did 138, brought me on stage, and I just yelled and screamed through 138, so I'm on the Misfits live record.
Wow.
And that was the night and how I met the Misfits.
That's an amazing
Doyle, Jerry, Glenn, and
San
Doogie.
Francisco rock on Broadway.
And it was just like me listening to the bass lines through the floorboard going, wait a minute, Horror Hotel, da-na. That's a Misfits song. There's another one. Wait a minute.
Wow.
Can't be. No. And I just went, the Misfits, they're not playing out in the world. Till then, I only knew the Necros had seen them play, and HR from the Bad Brains saw him play Maxis once. So it's the only reportage of the Misfits I ever knew of. And suddenly, I'm standing in front of them, and they're taking requests.
That's amazing, man.
I mean, it's like,
Yeah.
one of those lucky to be you
Yeah,
stories.
That's a dream right there.
And that happened to me.
Oh, fuck. Thanks for coming down.
Yeah, man.
I need End of Silence. You released that on vinyl, right, as like different mixes? Pre-Andy, or like demos or something?
We did the demos, which are really good. And
Yeah.
and I'm not here to blow my own horn. I greatly prefer them over the album.
Really?
Because they're full 8-track, and we already knew the song, so they're not demos. It was just kind of going in and crushing it.
Right.
In hindsight, we should have just put that out.
Yeah.
But In the Silence, the album is good, but the demos are great. And me and Cliff Norrell remixed them down the street at Cherokee, which is now no longer with us. It's where Bowie did Station to Station, but we mixed it down there.
Yeah.
And Cliff Norrell's a great mixer.
And it's out on vinyl now, right?
Mhm. Yeah, we did 180 gram double LP
I need
audio
that.
file. You know, just so it's like, you know, we made it as good as we could.
Yeah.
And it sounds great.
That's killer. I got to
Like
get
as far as
that.
sonically, it's all there.
Well, thank you, man.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
You got
And the
it.
website is
HenryRollins.com. They got really inventive.
As everything, right? The store and
The
stuff.
whole thing.
Wow, thank you so much, man.
got it.
This has been a magic day for me, man.
Thank you,
It's
sir.
just I could have talked to you all day.
Yeah,
dude.
the time flies.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. And don't forget to go to his website, catch him on tour, pick up vinyl, books, everything, man. See ya.